Welcome to the channel. Today we'll explore why many growing businesses and self-employed professionals outgrow simple IRAs and why moving to a 401k can dramatically improve long-term wealth. First, we'll frame the problem. Next, we'll quantify the contribution gap. Then, we'll uncover hidden fees. After that, we'll consider owner-only plan advantages and a practical migration checklist. Finally, we'll test your knowledge and summarize the key takeaways. Here's our agenda. First, we'll explain why this decision matters for long-term wealth. Next, we'll examine the contribution gap. Then, we'll look at the effect of fees. After that, we'll cover owner-only plan advantages, followed by a step-by-step approach to evaluating and switching. We'll include quick quizzes to reinforce learning, and close with key takeaways. This content is for education only and does not constitute tax, legal, or investment advice. Plan rules and IRS limits change regularly. Always verify current year contribution limits and consult a qualified professional, such as a CPA, ERISA attorney, or fiduciary advisor, before modifying your retirement plan. As businesses grow, both contribution ceilings and fees begin to dominate outcomes. In the early years, simplicity feels sufficient. However, as income climbs, contribution limits and expense ratios compound into large differences in terminal wealth. Therefore, revisiting the plan choice becomes critical for high earners and growing teams. Let's quantify the gap. Using illustrative figures, a simple IRA might allow around $16,500 of employee deferral, while a 401k might allow roughly $23,500. That difference, about $7,000 per year, compounds dramatically over multi-decade horizons. Importantly, this gap exists even before considering employer profit sharing, which is available in 401k structures, but not in simple IRAs. Furthermore, many 401k plans offer a Roth component, enabling tax-free growth on that portion of contributions. Over time, the combination of higher contribution ceilings and flexible tax treatment can materially increase ending portfolio values. Here's a simple illustrative calculation. If you invest $7,000 more per year for 30 years at an assumed 7% average annual return, the future value is approximately $7,000 multiplied by 94.46, or roughly $661,000. This is illustrative only, not a guarantee. Also, it excludes employer profit sharing, which could magnify the difference further. This table provides an illustrative snapshot. Employee deferrals are generally lower in simple IRAs than in 401ks. Catch-up contributions for those age 50 and older are typically higher in 401ks. Simple IRAs often include employer matching up to around 3%, while 401ks may include profit sharing up to a percentage of compensation, subject to combined annual limits that are significantly higher. Roth 401k features are common and valuable for tax diversification. Administrative costs exist in 401ks, but shopping competitively can reduce them. Critically, investment menus in modern 401ks may include very low-cost institutional funds, whereas simple IRAs often carry higher expense ratios. Fees are a critical and often overlooked drag on returns. It is not uncommon for simple IRA fund menus to carry average expense ratios above 1.5%. By contrast, many modern 401k platforms offer low-cost index funds with expense ratios around 0.1%. That roughly 1.4% annual difference compounds over decades, substantially reducing ending wealth. Even when a 401k includes administrative costs, the fee savings from low-cost investment options typically outweigh them over the long term if you select a competitive provider. This pie visualization illustrates how cumulative fee drag can consume a large share of gains over decades. In a high-fee scenario, a significant portion of returns is lost to expenses, while in a low-fee scenario, most gains remain with the investor. The numbers are illustrative and intended to convey the magnitude of compounding fees over long horizons. On the left, simple IRAs are straightforward and have minimal administrative complexity. However, they typically offer lower employee deferral limits, usually exclude profit sharing, and often come with higher expense ratios and limited Roth options. On the right, 401ks provide higher deferral limits, profit sharing opportunities that can significantly increase annual savings, access to low-cost institutional share classes, and Roth features that enable tax-free growth on designated contributions. For growing businesses and high earners, these advantages often prove decisive. For self-employed individuals and single-owner businesses, a solo 401k frequently offers the highest contribution potential by combining employee deferrals with employer profit sharing. Many large brokerages offer this with minimal administrative fees. A Roth solo 401k option can further diversify tax outcomes. Crucially, using a 401k rather than a traditional IRA helps avoid the IRA pro rata rule, which can otherwise complicate backdoor Roth contributions. For owner-only structures, this is often the most efficient path. This flowchart guides viewers through a high-level decision process. If there are no employees, a solo 401k is often the best starting point. If there are employees and higher limits plus Roth are priorities, a full 401k with profit sharing is typically preferable. If simplicity is the top priority, a simple IRA remains an option. But note the trade-offs of lower limits and often higher expense ratios. Throughout, compare administrative costs against the potential savings from lower investment fees. Verify current IRS limits, and consult professionals. Follow these steps. First, inventory your current simple IRA fees and fund expense ratios. Second, estimate 401k fund expenses and administrative costs. Third, model the contribution capacity including both deferrals and profit sharing. Fourth, decide on features such as Roth, eligibility, vesting, and whether a safe harbor design is appropriate. Fifth, select providers, including the record keeper, third-party administrator, and custodian, and compare the all-in cost. Sixth, create a timeline and communication plan. Seventh, default your investment lineup to low-cost index funds and consider a brokerage window only if needed. Finally, coordinate rollovers carefully and confirm all IRS notices and deadlines. Quiz time. Which factor most directly increases your tax advantage savings capacity year after year? Option A, lower expense ratios. Option B, higher contribution limits. Option C, Roth versus pre-tax selection. Option D, number of investment choices. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is higher contribution limits. While lower expense ratios and tax treatment are very important, the annual savings ceiling set by contribution limits most directly increases the amount you can shelter each year. Second quiz. Why can a solo 401k help with backdoor Roth strategies compared to accumulating pre-tax balances in traditional IRAs? Option A, because solo 401ks earn higher returns. Option B, because solo 401ks avoid the IRA pro rata rule on conversions. Option C, because solo 401ks have no paperwork. Option D, because solo 401ks always have lower fees. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is that solo 401ks avoid the IRA pro rata rule on conversions. By holding pre-tax amounts in a 401k rather than a traditional IRA, you generally avoid the pro rata calculation that can complicate and increase taxes on backdoor Roth strategies. Key takeaways. First, 401ks generally allow higher annual deferrals than simple IRAs. Second, employer profit sharing can significantly increase total annual savings. Third, the lower expense ratios commonly available in modern 401ks reduce fee drag over long horizons. Fourth, a solo 401k is often optimal for owner-only businesses and is friendlier to backdoor Roth approaches. Fifth, always compare administrative costs versus potential fee savings and verify current IRS limits. In summary, simple IRAs provide ease but can limit growth for higher earners. Modern 401k structures expand contribution capacity and often reduce investment costs. Solo 401ks offer substantial flexibility and efficiency for the self-employed. Therefore, run your own numbers, compare providers carefully, and execute a clean, well-planned transition if the analysis supports it. Thanks for watching. If this was helpful, please like the video, share it with another business owner who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more deep dives. In the comments, tell us your biggest question about switching from a simple IRA to a 401k, or share your experience so others can learn.